Welcome to Now in Android, a practical guide to Android design principles. In this series, we'll be using Now in Android to learn in detail about best practices in Android development. In this video, we'll learn an overview of the Now in Android architecture and the role of each layer. This app adopts a structure of three main layers: the UI layer, the domain layer, and the data layer. As the arrows in the diagram indicate, the domain layer depends on the data layer. The UI layer depends on both the domain layer and the data layer. This Now in Android architecture faithfully adheres to the official Android architecture guide. Let's take a look at the role of each layer. First, let's talk about the UI layer. As the name suggests, the role of the UI layer is to handle the means by which users interact with the app and display the results of those interactions. Specifically, displaying Android news or handling taps to save news of interest are processed in the UI layer. Also, this layer is responsible for changing the displayed news when new news is received from the network or when news of interest is saved with a tap. Next, I'll explain the data layer. The data layer has the role of managing the retrieval and updating of data from networks and databases. Also, the logic related to creating, saving, and modifying data is implemented in this layer. For example, when using both a network and a database, any conflicts that arise from multiple sources are resolved in this layer. In Now in Android, the process of retrieving Android news from the network and saving it to the database for offline viewing is performed in this data layer. Finally, let's talk about the domain layer. The domain layer is a layer that implements complex processing and processing that can be reused in the UI layer. This layer is not necessarily required, and it is recommended to use it as needed. In Now in Android, the process of retrieving articles by keyword search is implemented in this domain layer. Here are the references. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Stay tuned for more content from Now in Android about learning Android architecture and development best practices. With that, happy coding!